How's it, mother lovers? We're going to review some new tools today. It's a bit of a weird one though, because I only ordered 3 and 5 arrived. Let's get to it. So I ordered 3 tools, got 5. And they look to be the same boxes, even with the same number on them. 225, 225ZQ. 2 of these tools for a Patreon, and he ordered the small ones. There's 2 in there. I've got to be honest with you, I was dubious about these corner clamps. I couldn't figure out how they will work when you clamp them on a box. If you clamp in a box and you've got corner clamp on the inside and the clamp on the outside, you're probably going to have to raise your cabinet off ground to get the clamps on and stuff. So anyway, I've never looked really into it. These are the ones he's ordered, small ones. Surely there's 2 in a box, another 2 large ones. Maybe I ordered the large ones for myself then. I thought these only came as pairs though. We'll get to that. Pretty sure I know what this is. I've got the digital version, which honestly I don't get on with, because every time I go to it, the battery's dead. This is one I suppose you could call analog. Not as red as the red you hoped you get. This is more of an orangey, bronzy red. I'm not sure if the camera's really going to pick this up, especially once I colour grade the video. I'll get to that though. Not going to be a great deal to be said about that. Now, if you're anything like me, you go to your box of router bits, router bit cabinet, whatever, and you're looking for a pattern bit, and all your pattern bits in that box got the bearing at the top of the actual cutter itself. And you're looking for a cutter with the bearing at the bottom, like that. And I've only got this 1 or 2 of these. So when I saw this newbie on Banggood, I know how much they cost normally, which they're over 100 quid. It's something like 40 quid. Given I just got to review the tool to get my hands on one, why not? You know you're on for a winner when it comes with a Torx driver. Like I said, this is new. I spoke to Banggood about getting replacement cutters for these, and she said to me they'll be out in a month's time. Which this is a beast. The size of that compared with my hand. Now, I've never had a bit like this in my router. I've had big bits, but big bits, when I mean big bits, big like that. So I know I need to put the speed for the router as low as possible. This probably weighs similar weight, and there's nothing here to say what speed to set the router at. Well, I suppose I just have to go online and find the one they've copied and use their speed they suggest. That is a beast. That's really heavy. That's got to be the biggest pattern bit I've ever seen. It's as tall as the width of my hand. So it'll cut 65 mil. I suppose the only downside to this is the diameter of sheer size of this. I'm not going to be able to get tight radiuses on the inside of a pattern, am I? Going to be governed by that. But on the outside of a pattern be fine. So I guess you can see the advantage here is that, like my planer, when these get dull, just rotate them. These numbered. That is a shame. I don't know what you really should call these teeth cutters on my planer. They're numbered. So if you're on side 1 and you rotate it and you come back 6 months later and rotate it again, you're going to number 2 and then 3, 4. After 4, you've got to replace them. It seems to be quite well made. These blades are sitting up against back here. Proof is going to be in the pudding, isn't it? I'll tell you what though, it's making me feel inadequate. All these cutters are carbide cutters, so they're going to hold an edge for ages. And obviously you realise, because you can change these cutters, this router bit's going to last you a very, very long time. The thing that I'm most excited about is, when you're on the router table and you running a board through, and you might find you've got a knot in your board and the grain comes up to the face of the wood, so you've got 2 different grain directions meeting right there. Often a router bit, especially a fluted router bit, will catch that and chuck it the other way. The thing is with these cutters, and I know running boards through my planer, I don't spend that much time worrying about what the grain direction is. Some soft woods or brittle woods I'll pay more attention to, but normally it copes quite well. So it could be that you could run some difficult grain through the router with this and not get a kickback. I'm going to have to find that out, aren't I? 42 quid. Now most fluted pattern bits, about 25 quid. Reasonable ones, like a Bosch type one, but they're just 2 flutes, and I find I get through those really quickly because they go dull really quickly. So within 2 router bits you would have spent more money than just buying one of those. So this is going to be the test piece. As you can see here, the grain is running that way because this will be our feed direction. Run along here, and then we'll be pretty safe till we get to about here. And that's usually when the router cutter will grab and give us a kickback. I'm going to stick this template on it and run it through the router. The size of that thing sticking out the table. Thought I'd show you that before I lowered it. Oh, so that's as low as it's going to go. So that's bottomed out now. in the collect. In this router, shortest that can be is 35mm out the top. No way. Okay, the board's straight from the router. I'm hoping the microphone's going to pick this up. You can see how smooth that is, and that's supposed to be the problem area, right? Anyway, just to prove it's there. So you can see it's the same board. I don't know what more I can say really, that's damn good. Very pleased with that. No kickback. One last thing on that router bit that I can't convey on camera. So when I was feeding that wood into the cutter, it felt like there was no resistance at all. I actually had to look to make sure the cutter was contacting the wood. Never had that before. Usually you can feel a bit of resistance and you need to push it a bit, don't you? This just felt like I was just pushing a board along a table. Very impressed with that. Now I just need one that's got a tighter radiuses. Anyway, the depth gauge, this is my one, digital one. And what I don't like about it, every time I come back to use this, the battery would be flat and I'd have to replace the battery. So I gave up using it. The nice thing about it is though it has magnetic bottom, so it's good on the table saw. So because it was always running out of batteries and I didn't always have batteries, I'd just do test cuts and measure the cut until I got it right. But then a Patreon said he would like this, I think for his new router table setup. So, and the other thing I liked about this is not only is it magnetic, but it's registering either side, not just on one side like that. So if that was on the throat plate, like my table saw, could be tipping. Whereas if that is either side of the throat plate onto the table of the saw, going to get an accurate measurement. This will measure a height of 50mm. Double check that. Yep, 50mm on the money. What more I can say to that? I can show you on the table saw on the router. I can't see these lines too clearly, maybe the camera can pick it up, but I think I'm at 0.5 centimetre to 5mm. So I'm sitting on the line, half of the line exposed. Only true test I could do really of this is not use that and use these calipers to measure what that is. 515, let's go again just to be sure. 453, okay, this is not going well. Let's call that 5. I know, 5mm a little bit much to be taking off. Of course, what I realised after I cut this, I thought there's room for human error there, wasn't there? How I set that up and how it gets set up. So I thought, let's check. How do you zero this bloody thing out? Okay, zero, yes. So 4.8mm, okay. 4.75, 4.96, 4.96. What it is, you're not going to be able to see this. I've held this up to the light. I can't actually see this unless it's up against the light. I mean, actually no, I can. You probably can't. There's an ever so slight gap here. So that means this is pointing downwards, i.e. it's not square. Funny enough, it flattens out from here onwards. It's flat. I can't see any space. Wish I could get that on camera for you. So it works. I mean, some of my eyeballs is not struggling to see that. I could work to about 0.25mm tolerance. So that's within my tolerance. And I feel like I've set that up at 5mm. No real way of checking it now because I can only register off of that there, which we know is inaccurate now. But it's fine there. It's okay. I mean, it's a few quid, isn't it? Unlike that trend one I showed you. Let's have a look at these clamps. Corner clamps, whatever they're called. Try and keep this quick. Okay, they look nice, they're red, so that's always nice. Why? What are these markings for? That's a f***ing waste of time, that's for sure. So 4 inches by 4 inches, these little ones. The thread, that doesn't look like Acme thread. You know, Acme thread that spins quite quickly. This looks like metric. Yep, that'd be a pain. I personally would have liked that to be longer, so that could be clamped further into the cabinet, you know, not right on the edge. Some washers. Now I doubt this, what it's called now, the coating on this is going to last very long. Let's go on like that. You know those angle poise lamps? It's the same type of setup, isn't it? I'm sure my one at home's got a flat edge on that, so that doesn't spin around, which would have been nice. Yeah, you know, trying to clamp on in the side of a cabinet, stayed in position, would have been better. So yeah, like that. I think these knobs, the size of these knobs are alright. 3-fingered affair. I think if you had more notches, it might be a bit. I don't know. It's difficult to say. I was just going to say, well, I don't know what a bigger knob would be like, but I won't. Okay, well that really much sums that up. It's the most important part. Well, it's square. No. Okay, so that. I suppose I better have a look at both of them. No. We'll come back to that. Let's not waste any more time.
I can see the pub from here.
No. I'm not even going to bother looking at the other boxes then. That's disappointing. Before we go any further, if you can, I'd be grateful if you would head over to my Patreon page to support this channel. It's the cost of a pint a month. It's pressure free, no obligation, cancel any time, early access to vids with no ads, the director's cut, and a WhatsApp group for top tier peeps. I hope you enjoyed the video. Be lucky.